Today, I am going to demonstrate how to use the WireMock.net in your Visual Studio projects. In this video, I will create an API. I will be creating also a fixture. I will create an xUnit test and WireMock.net. I will not explain a lot now about WireMock because during this demo and while implementing the WireMock, you will understand by yourself what the WireMock.net is useful. It's a full demo project that will cover many things. You will learn how to create an API, how to create a fixture, how to create unit tests with xUnit, how to implement the WireMock.net in the unit testing. So let's move on directly to the implementation. Here I already have a simple console application that I will be using to call an API. First, I need to create that API. I will add to the solution a new project, add new project, and I will search for API, and I will choose this ASP.NET Core Web API. I will name it Demo API. I will leave it .NET 5.0. And this is it. This is an API, a default API created, weather forecast controller. So I will be using this API in my demo. It's a simple GET API that will get some data related to the weather. Now I will try to run the API from Postman. In order to run the API, I should select the API as a default project, and I will run it. I will run the service. I press this IIS Express, and this is the URL of the servers running locally at this port 44363. So let's try to call the API directly from Postman. I take the name of the API and I write it here near the URL, and I will put a breakpoint. And as you see, the breakpoint is hit, and this is the response of the API, and everything is working fine. After calling the API from the Postman, now what we will be doing next is calling the API from the main console application. And because both of the projects are local, we need to set the projects to run in parallel. For that reason, you right-click on the solution and you select the multiple startup project, and you select both of the project action start. So when you press start, both of the project, the console app and the API, they will be running. And now I will be writing in C# the code that call the API from the console application. Simply, I give the HTTP client getAsync method the URL of the API. And I will print on the console whatever response data I get from the API. Now I will run the two projects, and you see it entered into the console app, but I am getting an error here related to the SSL connection. I will try to solve this error by sending a custom certificate validation with the call. So everything okay now, and the API call passed successfully, and the data is returned successfully also. Now I will implement the fixture. What is fixture? Fixture encapsulates common instances that are used by multiple unit tests. So for every test run, any method or code inside of the fixtures constructor will run for every single test. Usually inside the fixture, we initialize DB context that will be used by the unit tests. But here in this fixture, I will be using it to implement the WireMock method. So let's begin by creating our fixture. We add in the console app a new class and we call it Fixture. In every fixture class, there is two main methods, the dispose and the constructor of the fixture. In the dispose method, we dispose all the resources that we don't need. We dispose instances and objects. And in the constructor, there will be the resources that will be shared between all the unit tests. Usually in the constructor, we initialize the DB context. Here, for example, the initialize init database is the method where I will initialize the DB context, and I will call the init database from the constructor. But now, for now, I will not be using the DB context, so I will just commit it. I will be using this WireMock server run. This WireMock server run, it will implement the WireMock.net functionalities. So first of all, we need to install the WireMock. I will be searching for WireMock.net and I will install it. So this syntax, wiremock server.start port, we are pretending to start a service at this port. Actually, there is no service running at this port, but we are mocking the service and we are pretending that the service is running. Given parameters are the request parameters coming from the client. The client request contains the API path or route. What does that mean? It means if the request from the client with the specific route and a post method, then respond with whatever parameters you customize. Here, in the response with, I choose to return a status code and a string response. I know for a beginner it will sound a little difficult, but believe me, it's a piece of cake. It's just a fake service running on a custom port and returning custom data specified by the developer. So the same logic is implemented for using get and using post. So this is the WireMock implemented in the fixture. Now we will moving on to the next step. So now after we finish implementation of the WireMock, we need to create a unit test. So in the console application, I will create a new class and I will name it console test. In this console test, it will implement the interface iClass fixture because I need to use the fixture in this unit test. So for that reason, first of all, I need to install xUnit. Provide the fixture class name, which is fixture. And inside of the unit test constructor, I will inject the fixture. So that way I will be using all the contacts inside of the fixture, the shared contacts inside of the fixture. Goal to create the unit test is to test this demo, this API. I need to test this API, but this API is on a different project, and generally it will be on a different server. It will be remote API. So I need to create a unit test to test this API. So first of all, let me create the method that will test this API. So now inside of this unit test, I will call the API. I will call it as I did previously in the console app. I will call it that way using the client HTTP client get async, because the method get async is inside of this unit test. I need to change from void to task to async task. And here I will define my unit test assertion. I will try now to execute the unit test. I will try in the test explorer to run all the tests, but it seems that there is missing packages. So I will add the missing packages. There is the Microsoft.test.sdk. It needs to be installed, and the runner also, Visual Studio Runner, it needs to be installed. So I will install these packages, and after that I will try to continue the execution. After the packages have been installed, I will try to debug the unit test. And now it's working. I will debug line by line. Okay, now we are calling the API, but now it should now an error it will be thrown because the server, you see, we hit the dispose fixture dispose. In this case, it means that there is a problem. This here in the dispose, I will remove the throw this line, and usually we clean resources in the dispose. For example, the context, we call the context.dispose to release the context resources. So here what happened? What happened here? I am trying to call this API, but the server of this API is not running. It is not running. Even we have to run the server manually, or even we have to use the WireMock. So we call the WireMock server run that we already installed, implemented in the fixture by calling it with fixture.wiremock server run, and the port number is the port number of the service API, where it's running the service API. The given path is the route name of the API. The response, whatever string response you want, the status code 200, which mean OK, HTTP OK, and the response, whatever response, string response you want the API, the mocked API to return back to you. And here the method is get, because our API is a get method. So I will try to debug it again. Now the fixture.wiremockserver.run, it will run a fake service on the port 44363. Here, the service is running, the mocked service is running, but there is an SSL error. I will try to fix it now. I'm debugging to see where is the problem and what is the problem. I guess it's a problem related to the SSL. As you see here, it's HTTP localhost, but our service, the API, is running on HTTPS localhost. So we need to fix it. I will try to define SSL true when the WireMock service start. I will try to debug it, but also it's the same error, throwing the same error. After some online investigations, I solved the problem by running these two commands. These two commands, it clears the certificates in localhost. Now I will try to debug it again. Here at this line, the WireMock server run, it will create a fake server that will get client request and return custom response. So now even the API is hosted on a remote server. No need for us to bother ourselves with such APIs. The unit test just mock the behavior of these APIs without the need to make remote requests and wait for remote responses. So this is everything we have today for WireMock. We covered everything in this tutorial. I showed you how to create an API, how to call this API from a console application, how to create a fixture, how to implement a WireMock.net inside of the fixture, and how to call the WireMock from a unit test. So this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like our video and to subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much.